You know you say that about every gym in Vegas, right? How are you?
Is
Haven't
Brian
seen
here yet, or
No.
I wonder if he found it.
He's even more late than you.
Dude, the 15 is the worst road ever to travel.
Why
How'd
would
you come?
Why would you take the 15?
Because
you know better.
it's Saturday afternoon. I didn't realize there was an event going on at this stadium.
I never take the 15. I always take it to 15.
It is faster. You remember, for you it's quicker.
Yeah.
For me it's not, because I have to go up Lone Mountain. That's
true.
7 minutes.
Yeah, but then you're stuck in traffic.
Yeah, but normally you don't get the traffic, you know? And
yeah.
what's going on in this? Still got guys training here, huh?
Yeah.
Tell me what happened.
We had a good day with Stan and Chris.
I know. I
Fitness.
just talked to Psycho.
Oh, he called you?
Why? He texted me because I asked him how it went, you know, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, it was like old days."
I know, it was great.
So
Yeah,
we're gonna do something really cool. So we had a collab scheduled today with Brian Shaw. So we're gonna do a little arm training. I'm gonna show him how we do Olympia style. So we're gonna love that. You guys are gonna love it.
All right.
He makes me look tiny though.
I know, dude. That picture you sent, I'm like, oh my god, he's
crazy?
a giant. Yeah. Awesome.
What's up?
What's up, bro?
Made it.
This is Gavin. He's one of the owners.
Gavin, what's up, man? How you doing?
Gavin.
Good to meet you, brother. It's cool, man. I like it. I like it.
Pink equipment just for you, bro.
I know. You shouldn't have, you know?
You know Dave, right?
How are you,
What's
Ryan?
up, brother? How
Nice
we
to meet
doing?
you.
That's Brian's film guy.
Nice to meet you.
James, nice to meet you, brother.
We've been at stuff before.
Yeah.
Sure. What's up, guys? Hope you all are doing well. I am here with the man, Jay Cutler. He's on the wall, and here he is in real life. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. It's good to see you in my house. And,
I mean, it is. It's pretty cool to have your mural up on the wall, huh?
yeah, it's kind of crazy. When I was coming over here to start training, they said we have a big surprise for you. And this is Fit Club Las Vegas. You migrated to Vegas to come out to see what it's like to come inside Mr. Olympia's house. And
Yes.
you know, it's pretty cool that they dedicated this, and it's really cool that we have the 4-time world's strongest man in the house,
With the 4-time Mr. Olympia champion.
which is really cool and unique. And you know, we're going to do some little arm training today.
So you're going to run me through what you did for arm training or similar for Mr. Olympia.
Very similar, and I think you know, with your training, you're going to notice a little bit difference. So there's a little techniques and little tweaks that I'll kind of explain as I go through. But you know, I think we have a lot of similarities on the training. The reps are a little different. Obviously, the weights aren't as much as they used to be back when I was 300 pounds. And I feel small standing next to you a little bit. But, you know, we'll get it done. And, you know, the whole goal is to get in the gym, get as much blood in there as possible, and, you know, have a great workout and get sore.
I love it. Well, let's get started.
Starting with triceps. And what we're trying to do is just get the blood in there. I always try to get my elbows warm. And the reason I do triceps first is I always feel like when I have a good tricep pump, as soon as I do the first set of biceps, I got a huge pump there. And so Brian's over here chalking up. We're getting ready for some rope press downs.
You don't chalk up?
Not so much, man. The gyms don't allow that a lot. So
I mean,
that's the one thing about, you know, starting in your parents' home in their basement, and then, you know, moving over to your own gym. You said, you know, you train at your own facilities. Like, you can do whatever you want, man.
You want some?
No, it's good.
You sure?
Good. I'm good.
It's good chalk.
Yeah.
It's good chalk.
Just your own chalk?
It's not my own chalk, but it's good. Oh, it's nice. See? I knew I would get you to chalk up. Now we're ready to train. Let's go.
So I don't call things warm-up because I feel like living in Vegas, like I come in the gym, I'm kind of warm anyway, but I'll get a feel of what the weight is. Now, the unique thing that I do with the rope press down, okay, our goal with this is, you've seen this done, and you've probably done these a million times, but you know, you come down and you kind of spread the rope at the bottom.
Yeah.
But with this, I'm going to kneel on the floor. Okay, because sometimes I feel like I use a lot of body momentum.
If you're standing up.
Yeah, so I'll actually drop. We have a pad on the floor, which most of the time I don't use a pad, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm just being nice about it with you, so.
Oh, I feel like I'm okay with no pad if you're gonna say it like that.
So I'm gonna do the pad, and I'm gonna push it away from it a little bit, but I'm gonna focus doing around 12 to 15 reps for the first set.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Nice. So you trying to keep it away from your body?
I just, you know what, it's just body position, but I don't like to be, some people like to be a little closer.
Yes.
I mean, obviously,
You think you don't have a wider pad?
let's see, we have an extra one.
I'll just go with that one because you said it like that
No,
earlier.
no, we got it.
So,
I don't want to get kneel on the floor.
oh, so I'll do 2 pads.
It's like a booster chair.
He's double the size, so he's going to use 2 pads. That's probably light for you, so. So, elbow here, good, perfect.
Like
good.
that?
Yeah.
I'm just 12, you said?
50, 50. Light, right?
Yeah.
Back or whatever, I focus on 10, 12 reps. I feel that arms, sometimes you can do a little more repetitions.
So you stayed a little bit higher. Is that both for triceps and
Yes.
biceps?
Yeah,
Okay.
I always felt that way because the thing is like, even at my peak, like I would do, you know, a little more weight than this, but I would
Okay.
really try to focus on the feel more than what the weight is, you know?
Gotcha.
So
So you're really trying to focus on the muscle
yeah, like
contraction.
I don't know what it looks like as I do it because I know what it feels like, but like I really just try to, I'm locking for a second at the bottom, although it may not look like I actually, because I don't necessarily lock out like most people.
Yeah, but you're hitting
But
that
the
end range.
muscle's actually locking out. So I'm going to try to, I just want to do this like, just to see what it feels like.
I love it. Easy, good. Good. Nice.
Yeah, the crazy thing for me, man, I never had joint pain.
Never.
Never in my career.
See, I feel like really fortunate with that too. Like I haven't ever had, I mean, knock on wood, I haven't ever had any like, oh, my elbows kill me or
Yeah.
my knees or anything like that, where I feel like a lot of guys have that,
Anyone
like a
that
lingering thing.
Yeah, anyone that trained for a long period of time, they always have nagging injuries. So I know when I do a lot of movements, like on my channel on Instagram, people are always like, man, that looks like it hurts, the elbows.
Yeah,
But truthfully, I never had like the shoulder pain or the knee pain or,
yeah.
you know, elbows.
That's awesome. Do you think you did a good job of listening to your body
I did,
with training?
yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Tissue work, stretching, avoiding exercises that hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
So it's not, you're not pushing through. I mean, if you were to walk in and for whatever reason this specific exercise didn't feel
Yeah.
good, you wouldn't just force it. You'd say, I'm going to modify it somehow.
Every day was different. I judged,
Yeah.
and I always have this rule: not every workout is a rock star workout.
That's a good rule.
Yeah.
That's a good rule.
All right,
You're
so
not trying to.
make
You're,
sure we
you're
get
focusing on the end goal.
make sure we
Yeah.
get the weight on here because he's got what the whole stack is right here. So easy work now. It's our last set right now. Good. Is that 15 or?
50. That's a good enough.
I think so, yeah. I
Okay.
think we'll move to the next one. All right, so this is the common skull crush. You've done these before. Man, I used to do some crazy weights with this, man.
Yeah.
I would do like 245s a side, and that was you know, some people cringe because they say, oh, it hurts my elbows, but you know, this exercise I still do to this day. I feel this is the best, probably mass exercise to build the density in the triceps. Okay?
Interesting.
So my goal on this is to do, you know, 10 or 12 repetitions. And what I'll try to do is I'm going to try to push my head off the end.
Okay.
So I don't keep my head actually on the pad, and I'm going to kind of just go back and I'll create kind of like a good stretch to the tricep, okay? So
Interesting. All right.
I'm going to do a closer grip. Pretty standard. I mean, this exercise is probably in most people's routines. So head off again.
Nice. Nice. Get it. Good.
All right, so what you'll notice on these is, you know, the reps are pretty steady. I'm, you know, coming up and kind of contracting a little bit, but the closer grip. Okay. Some people do wider, some people do closer, but for me, I always did a closer. Sometimes I do this with dumbbells too.
Okay.
As a variation, but we don't do a warm-up set with this because we're already warm.
From the rope.
Yeah, so, you know, what I'll do is usually 3 or 4 straight sets of this.
Okay. So the same rep pattern.
Same
like
rep
12.
pattern. I would pyramid the weight up normally. I mean, I'm
Okay.
probably going to stick this. It's up to you if you want to go up.
Okay.
Okay.
So try this.
So I'll
first.
hand this to you.
So head off the.
I like to be off. I mean, that's just a technique that I like. It doesn't mean you have to do it that way. However you normally do this.
Like there.
Yeah. Okay. So I did 12. I mean, if you can do the 15s if you want, it's easy. I don't know what that weight feels like for you. See, your range of motion is really good. Good. God, that was a fast 15.
Are you questioning the calorie?
No, man, that was fast. But,
Yeah.
you know, you're very explosive, I think, because of your type of training, too. But what I like to do is, so usually the partner goes, I go. So that's kind of my speed.
So that's the rest.
That
of it.
was the difference in my training with compared to a lot of other people is, you know, I always like to have shorter rest periods. So I would literally train with someone that did similar weights to me. If I did train, or if I was by myself, it would be pretty much if I had to adjust the weights and then I'd go right back into the
Hit
next
it
set.
again.
Okay.
Yeah. You want me to hand it to you?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm here.
Yeah. I'm not. See, I'm used to training by myself.
Yeah.
Or training with Matt. Training with Matt is also the same way.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice. Easy. Good. Good. Nice, Jake. Good. So now with me being a little bit wider, that
Does that
narrower
grip, does it bother you?
a little bit?
So you go a little wider.
Yeah. But I mean, you think it would have the same effect as what you're
No,
talking
I think you know, because you're much broader than me.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, yes, it's just like when we were doing the rope. I mean, you're like, listen, I need more space.
Yeah.
Definitely, you
Kind
know,
of
this
the
bar
same.
isn't as long to you as it is to me.
Sure.
Because of the shoulder grip, you know.
So do you go up and weight a little
I think
bit?
so. What do you think?
Yeah.
You want to go 10 or 25?
So we go at 10 on each side? Yeah.
So can you come over and give me a spot? I wasn't that guy.
Sure. So if you can't hit it for 10, you're not
Yeah,
doing it.
I'm not doing it.
Gotcha.
Doesn't mean I couldn't do more weights. I just didn't want to not get the reps, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna go there? Yeah, that's a little more. Is that comfortable for you?
Yeah.
grip for you, or would you work with a thicker bar?
For something like this, no.
Okay.
But I have a variety of like thicker bars that.
That kind of fit what you do a little more, right?
I take that back. I did buy a thicker like curl bar that was like a fat grip kind of.
Yeah.
And I actually, for this movement, I like this bar better. I tried it because I thought it'd be good. So I'll always try something. I'm like always willing to like, hey, I'll give that a try or whatever. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's like you're buying a bar that you maybe use one time. But if in my mind, if it were to help me, it would be worth the investment to get, you know. Because sometimes it's something you can't just go to a gym and try.
Of course, yeah.
So it's like you got to get it. You know? And I've done that with other pieces of equipment that are like specialty pieces. If I can look at it and say, I think that could help me, I'm willing to try to buy it, you know. And I might just get it and say, hey, it doesn't work. So, you know. But some of that stuff, I wish there was places I could go try it. But it's such a specialty thing. Like a gym like this, why would they ever carry it?
Yeah.
Because nobody's really going to use it.
No.
So.
You know, Diaz is going to be pissed. Look how he's getting closer.
Look at that angle.
I wasn't just resting.
This is a heavier stack. All right, so we're going to do the normal press down movement. So I like to cheat a little bit on this where, you know, I know people correct the form sometimes and they think, you know, you have to have your back up against something and keep your elbows by your side. What I'm really going to do, bro, is I'm going to lean in on this. So I have one leg and I kind of lean in. I get up in it because I was doing a ton of weight.
Yeah.
And I would do the stack pretty easily. And I'm going to still focus on like the 12 reps. I'm just really just trying to power through the movement, okay?
Is there a reason it's coming third?
Because I'm really warm at this point.
Okay.
So I think that, you know, I think the mistake that a lot of people do is they tend to do too heavy of movements to start out their routine, where I like to ease a little bit. I've always done that. So we talked about the length of, you know, going through my career without injuries and like without joint pain.
Yeah.
I think you really have to get your a little pre-exhaust into the muscle, and that's why we started with the ropes.
Yeah.
Because it's not as much tension on the elbows, right? Yeah. So this is more, I would say, out of all the movements. I mean, the skull crushers, because I didn't go so crazy heavy, especially compared to what you did. I don't have that torque in the elbows, but this exercise I feel is going to be the heaviest of what I do.
It's interesting, yeah.
Okay, so check out the technique and tell me what you notice and what I do, okay? This is a little, not too heavy, but, so I'm going to lean in like this. So I'm actually going to tuck this cable in on my shoulder, and I'm going to just power through. So notice my foot position.
Yeah.
I think my elbows are kind of by my side a little bit.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
And I'm just kind of locking out. This is one of the few exercises that I actually lock out.
Interesting.
And squeeze the triceps.
Okay. Huh. So you're kind of staggered foot stance.
I'm staggered, I'm in it, and I'm kind of pushing down.
Okay.
And people would say this is wrong, but this is how I won Olympia, so.
Well, it's hard to argue with that. So now for me, try to go on the inside.
Listen, however, if it's a little wider, nothing's going to hurt it. So just, you know, get that little stagger step in. Yeah, that's it. And just power in. I mean, this is really light for you, I'm sure. But yeah.
Like that.
And just make sure you feel it in that long head of the tricep. So you're doing 15, so I think stick to the 15s.
Okay. Should I lean over more? Or
No, that's good. I mean, as long as you feel it, just all triceps. You know, not really trying to push with the shoulders, but good. You know, as long as you get, that's a lockout right there, right at the bottom. Good. Good.
I think that's 15 around there. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a different.
So some people think that you have to stand here.
Yeah.
And you got to be away from it like this.
Yeah.
But to me, that works more on my abs and everything else, where
yeah.
I'm in and I can do a lot of heavier weight.
Well, you can feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, on the inside there.
And I'm going to go up, so I'm going to go up 30 pounds for the next set. And I'd expect you probably to peek out on a whole stack on this thing, but.
I feel that's a little bit of a call out, but we'll get it, you know?
If you notice, this is pushing my body a little more. It's a little heavier, so.
Yeah. Nice. There you go. Good. Good, Jake. Get it. Nice. Yep.
See, that's a little heavier than I would go, but I'm training with world's strongest man.
You got your reps done.
Yeah.
That's it, baby.
I don't know how many that was. Who counted?
I think you had 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's being nice. It was probably 8.
Well, everybody's now going to go back and check the video. All right.
How many is that?
This is 8.
So you can see why I have the stagger step.
Big time. Yeah.
Because if I was standing like this, I would lose my balance with the weight.
No, totally. Yeah.
So that's how. I mean,
well,
listen,
you
you're.
can keep the emphasis.
But it's like you're tall enough and you can really power in. So I'd imagine the amount of weight. Once you get the technique, I mean, you could power through a lot of these movements.
So I'm going to go
So
up next set.
I don't know how to doing tries before biceps. So usually, I mean, I've done back and biceps, chest and biceps, or shoulders and triceps. I've tried all the split routines, but what I always felt accustomed to the most success from my routines were doing arms together, so triceps and biceps. So I would have a particular day just for those body parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little feel set. Okay, I'm going to do one exercise that's the first set's not going to be crazy heavy. I'm going to focus on doing at least 8 per side.
Okay.
So I'm going to alternate.
Yep.
Some people do both at the same time, but what I'll do is I'll do supinate the wrist here, and I'm going to do standing dumbbell curls. Okay.
Perfect.
Pretty easy.
I'm
not going to be super strict. I'm not going to be super strict. So you're going to notice there's going to be a little body movement.
Okay.
Sometimes I do them seated.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do that today. I switch it around. Okay.
Perfect.
So like I did the ropes, sometimes I do it so I'm a little less body momentum, but today I'm going to swing a little bit.
Perfect. Okay. So you just kind of feel it out.
Yeah, I go by feel by different days, right? So
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick a weight, just kind of roll through it.
Cool.
So just a contraction of bicep, not coming up too high or anything. Just getting the blood in there. To be honest, I don't even really count repetitions, but.
Good. So the question is, did you do 22?
Oh, did I do 22? See, I didn't even count.
I mean,
11 each arm.
Yeah.
I did? Okay, so I lied. So I said at least 8, but I may go up. So I start at 40s. I'm going to go to 45. You're going to go to like 75. So these are like baby weights.
What you said before you started there is a lot of times I don't even count reps.
I don't.
So you're going off of a feeling.
I'm going off a feeling, but it's funny because experience in the gym, you can look at a weight and say, I can do this many times. You know how it is.
100%. Yep.
So it's a lot of mind and muscle connection, but sometimes I surprise myself a little more. I mean, even on the tricep press downs, like I said, I'm going to shoot for 8. I did 15.
Totally. Yeah.
Like sometimes you get that extra, like power in order to get the exercise done. With this, I mean, let's see how it feels. Get in there. If you do 15 each arm, see how it feels. Get a little blood in there, and we'll see how it feels.
I mean, I feel like what you're doing is you're throwing out these numbers. At first we're 8, and then now you did 11, and then you're like, oh, well, just go ahead and do 15.
Well, remember, I'm not used to training with anyone,
Yeah.
particularly the best power lifter in the world, right?
It's all good. It's all good.
So
Just keep adding
it's
the
all
reps.
relative,
Keep
right?
we can just
So he's basically saying you're lying a little bit.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I surprise myself
I'll
sometimes.
do 8. Maybe I'll do 11. I'll do.
I'm not
15.
going to lie. You brought a
going.
little bit of a competitive side.
That's what
Right,
I'm,
right.
That's what I'm talking about.
So the old man ain't done yet. Waist looks so little, right?
I know.
How's that feel?
Good.
Do you feel it? Or?
Yeah, it's interesting with the tricep having some blood in there first. I actually really like the way that goes.
How many's that?
I don't know. I'm talking to you. I lost count. I'm not stopping before your number. I'm gonna make sure to beat the number. Maybe we'll have to put a rep counter.
35, 36.
That's 3, 4. Cool.
Alright, fuck
That
this up.
does
I'm
it.
going up.
He's going up 5 more pounds.
I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna go to 55 or 65. Alright, so we're rolling with it now.
Nice, Jay. Good. Nice work. Easy up. Good. There you go.
Alright, so we talk about bicep injuries. I mentioned I tore my upper, so I had this repaired.
Yep.
You can actually see, this is where it tore. You can see the split right there.
Yeah.
So it actually tore from that area. And then once I came back, I had this surgery.
Yeah.
Crazy thing is, first day back in the gym, announced I'm going to do the 2013 Olympia. So I sat out 2012.
Yep.
Phil was the champ.
Yep.
I came in for 13. The day I started and made the announcement, I went in to do chest, grabbed a pair of 120s off the rack, and I popped and partially tore this bicep.
Isn't that crazy? Huh?
And I said, you know what, I'm not going to go through another surgery.
Yes.
I went and talked to my doctor. He's like, you know, what are you going to do? I said, I can't postpone this. I have 16 weeks before the contest, so I'm going to go do it. So I have a partial tear, you can see.
So that's what it ended up being, was a partial there.
It's a partial. So he said, you know what, if it comes off totally,
Yeah.
have the surgery, but just ride it out. You're going to come.
That's crazy.
And
So you did 13 that way.
I did 2013 with this partially torn.
That's crazy.
So you can see a little, you know, it's a little smaller, it's
Yep.
shorter,
Yep.
but it did affect how I trained.
Well, I bet you had to compensate a lot.
Well, I was scared.
Yes.
Because now you have a partial torn bicep.
100%.
When you're rowing and doing the heavy stuff, and what limited me in that 13 Olympia was my back. And the
That's
back
interesting
training,
because of that.
it had to be heavy to be able to compete at that level.
Totally.
And I couldn't pull the weights. You remember we filmed a lot of it.
That's crazy. I mean, it's a good point. I would be worried about that too.
Yeah. So you mentioned you tore your bicep.
Yeah. So left.
So they reattach it, no problem ever.
Yep. So I just did the full recovery, whatever.
Yeah.
And
You wore the
I did, but I actually started moving the day after.
Yeah.
It was like passive movement, and just they wanted me to. I never ever got immobilized, so I was lucky to go. Dr. Millett at the Stedman Clinic. Great. He was like, it was either him or this guy in Boston that was like, they were the top two guys in the world for biceps. And I went to him, and he was amazing. And he said he fixed it down with something like way stronger than. Because I told him, hey, I'm doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like I need a fix, so it's industrial strength, you know. But he did a good job, and I just did the full recovery, and then I waited. What was it? Probably about 12 weeks. I waited after that before I started even easing back into training, so I didn't push it at all.
I was back in the gym a week after my surgery. And I was training lower body, and I was supposed to have my arm slinged. So what I did is I had appearances.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to have to take a picture in a sling.
Okay.
So I in the appearances that I did, I kept my arm like this. And I'm right-handed, so but my arm stayed like this the whole time. And I got back in, and I started training probably 3 weeks after the surgery, just
with
light.
the bicep. Wow.
Just light, and I never had that issue. I mentioned that it was a little hard for me to do this movement.
Yes.
So I had to do a lot of therapy to try to make sure I get that
the range
flexion back. Yeah. And I couldn't stay out of the gym, man. I was doing legs in a week's time.
See, I didn't train the bicep for a while, but I was doing like a safety squat bar.
Yeah.
I did that the day after my surgery.
Yeah.
Like I was in there and I couldn't stay out. So I was like, you know what? I may not be able to use that arm, but I'll tell you what, I can still do legs.
The crazy thing is it never hurt.
Yeah.
When I never had pain.
Yeah.
And I never had pain after the surgery. Like they gave me painkillers and everything else. And to be honest, I mean, it just itched a little bit because of the incisions. You know,
Yeah.
I tied it back to my
That's interesting.
shoulder
yeah.
joint.
But never shoulder problems other than
No,
the mobility.
no, it's always been good.
Yeah. All right. My turn. So what was that, 45?
Yeah, too light for you.
You go to just 50 jump. I'm going to just do the 5 pound.
It's 55s here.
Well, I mean, we're doing more sets, right?
Yeah, but yeah, we got 3 sets here, so.
All right, 55 is fine. It's good. I like that. It's like Jay's very good at like a subtle. It's just like kind of like I said. Okay, the 50s are over there. We do have 55s, so just so you guys caught that. It's just like it's kind of under his breath. Oh, it's 55s, So it's kind of like it's up to you to make the right choice, kind of thing. I get it. Fair enough.
Leave those, leave
Oh,
those.
that's
An exercise I start with. Why? I know so many people that tore their bicep with a stationary lock on their elbow.
interesting.
So I've always kind of done an exercise prior to doing this. I've never just started out of the gate doing this because I feel like, your body has to adapt to the exercise, especially if a muscle's like locked in a position. So I like to do warm-up sets, do an exercise first prior to doing these. Now, sometimes I did these one arm, but I'm going to do them 2 arm today.
Okay.
And with this, I'm just trying to really get that contraction. The elbow is locked, so there's no cheating. Obviously, I would pyramid the weight on this too, but to be honest, I always train with people, and I was one of the weaker ones with bicep movements. I never was a super strong bicep curl guy. Like anyone that trained with me seemed to always be stronger, but of course I had bigger arms.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's. I feel like a lot of it is stimulating.
Yes.
Right, and that's the goal. That's really what you're trying to do. So at the end of the day, if you can stimulate with a lower amount of weight, then I feel like you're okay. Especially if you're getting the results, because I don't know. Did your which body part do you feel like grew the easiest for you?
You know what? My arms were one of the hardest. My legs were the easiest.
Okay.
And I think, to be a successful pro, you have to have the great combination of bicep, tricep. You notice, I had really good peaked biceps, and it took me a while to get that development, but once I did it, it wasn't really, oh, Jay has weak arms. It was one of those, which was kind of nice in my career.
Yeah.
For me, because I felt like, a front double biceps, the first call shot. When we get out on stage, they always ask for the front double. So I always had good arms,
Yeah.
especially as wide as I was, but I had to have a little bigger arm. I think, at the max, my arm taped about 22.5 inches.
Okay.
At 5'9", so that was relatively even with symmetry with my body.
Yeah.
And, I think that you have to have really good arms in order to be a successful Mr. Olympia winner.
I feel like it would be hard to not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the things that you could probably get away with calves
Yeah.
easier than arms.
Yeah,
Like
because
arms
arms
are going to be
show,
in so many
they
shots.
show, remember your rear double bicep, your most musculars, your front lat spread, you're going to have that shape in there. So, like I said, I would dedicate that specific arm day, bicep, tricep.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to do a set. I'm going to get right into it, 12 repetitions. Easy enough. This is probably not too heavy of a weight,
Okay.
but we'll get the feel for it. Yeah, this is a little lighter.
Good. Good. Get it.
So one thing that people always asked me, and I don't know what they comment about your videos on how you train, but some people think that you need to come all the way up.
Okay.
And the truth is that's taking tension off the biceps, right? So
Totally.
a lot of our rep ranges are fairly short. So you notice that I do stuff, it doesn't look like I'm contracting, but I feel a peak contraction even like in this position.
Yeah.
So I don't come all the way up and take the tension off the biceps.
That makes sense. It's fascinating to hear you say stuff like that for me, because it's something that I don't normally focus on, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like I'm going to move the weight.
That's your main objective, is to move the weight.
Yeah, so I'm not really worried about, hey, do I have tension on the muscle or not? It's like I'm lifting it, and I've been more concerned for me with full range of motion. That's one of the things that I have lived and died by.
I noticed even like with the tricep extension, you have, it seems almost more extension than I have.
Yeah.
And
a lot
for
of
a
guys
big
that
guy,
lift,
it's hard to do that.
One of the things that I've noticed, and I don't know if it's more because of the video content, social media kind of things like that, but a lot of guys will cheat their reps, so they'll half rep to do more weight.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they're trying to show off for video or
I think a
whatever.
lot of people lift with ego a lot. You know?
And this is something I just never have done. It's like if I can't handle a weight in a full range of motion, I'm not going to lift it. You know, and that's just one of the things that I've done. But it's interesting to hear because, you know, sometimes people pick up on that stuff and sometimes they don't.
It's kind of like I did those 55s on those curls in the last exercise.
You know what I mean? Well, I was going to say the reps were a little short, but you know, it's all good. I'm not going to call you out in your home gym, you know. All right, so let's see how I fit in this.
This is pretty light. You fit in there?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
A little tight squeeze, but. So stop like here.
That's, you feel that like, where's your contraction, right? Where
Probably
do you feel?
there.
Right there? Yeah.
There.
Okay, so yeah. But some people come way up, which
Yeah,
it
so
doesn't make
like
sense.
up here. Well, I mean that thing's gonna hit my arms
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
right? So.
We need a Brian Shaw curl now.
Squeeze it in here.
Hey, have you ever seen anyone too big for the hammer strength?
No.
All right, so I'm gonna go up a little bit. Okay, I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go up 10 pounds. You can drop this seat too, bro, if it's too high.
Nice. Good, good, good.
So really for arms, I like that explosive.
Explosive.
Yeah. So you can drop that seat, bro. I think it's a little high.
Let's try it.
See, I think you would even have a longer handle would be better for you, right?
Yeah.
I feel
Like
you're,
if I were to come
I
out.
feel you're a little tight in there.
Come out there.
Yeah.
That
And you
actually,
might have to make shift like that. Yeah.
that actually feels better.
Yeah.
Just scooting
It looks
out
like
just a
looked like you were too pinched in, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can definitely feel what you're saying though with it. I feel like training the triceps first. The biceps are more.
Yeah.
You like for whatever reason, you just got more blood in there. So.
All right. So this exercise is going to replicate the front double bicep. Okay. Since we're getting Brian on a bodybuilding stage, we're going to get him to practice his front double bicep, which is the first pose.
We got the mirror right
Yeah.
in front,
So
right?
we got the mirror, and yes.
I mean,
And so what we're gonna do with this, bro, is I'm actually gonna stand pretty neutral in the middle, okay? And it's just all biceps. So it's just, this is the basic movement.
Gotcha.
Okay?
yep.
Now I'm just wondering, because of the length of how big you are, how it's gonna affect if you're gonna be able to do that. But actually, I'm gonna step forward a little, maybe that's a little forward. So
Okay.
this movement, just like this, just a basic curl.
Nice.
So 12 reps.
You want me to try that weight or upper?
See what it feels like.
Because you stay tall too,
Let's do a feel set. Hopefully this is gonna work. And you're not gonna hit the, yeah, you might have to step forward a little bit
more.
Okay, good, perfect. You get it? Good. Feel it's mostly biceps, right?
Yeah.
How many is that?
10.
All biceps. Good. We need a little wider.
A little bit.
Shaw doesn't fit in this Life Fitness cable crossover machine. We have to kind of make our own little makeshift here with these curls. So what we're going to do is, so for you taller people, I'm sure you get a lot of people that have the same issue on there. We're actually going to get down on knees, and that was pointed out by one of our camera guys. Okay.
I can give you that one if you want.
Yeah. So we'll get down, so that way it's going to allow him not to be stuck in the rack.
Nice, just good.
Let's see how that feels.
So same weight.
I think it's yeah, it's more. This is such a isolation
Okay.
on the bicep
Yeah.
that I think that the weight really don't matter as much. Problem is getting up, you know.
That's all.
So good, yeah. You notice a contraction. So we're gonna focus on 12, like I said. Not a crazy amount of weight here. The weight really doesn't matter. It's all about getting the feel in that isolation of movement. Good. In the day, I mean, I would do sometimes more or less. But I always kind of shot for at least, you know, when I was training full capacity, I'd say I always train about half as much now.
Okay.
I would do at least probably 6 exercises per body part.
So you do 6 bicep, 6 tricep.
Yeah, and it would be close to 20 sets.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, we talk about, you know, hammering through. It was, you know, an hour-long session, but that was
that's moving.
Yeah,
That's
I was moving.
yeah.
So 20 sets would be a minimum. For back or legs, I'd probably do 30 to 40 sets.
Wow. In
Yeah.
one training session.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's monster volume.
And that's the whole goal of every workout, was to engorge the muscle with as much blood as possible, expand it, and get out and feed it.
Sure.
Because the
So
muscle would just suck. It would suck everything up, right?
Well, and that's the thing too about the training session taking longer. Then there's less time to eat.
Like, do you think? Yeah. Do you think? Like, do you eat right away after training?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, I noticed you took some aminos, like, as you walked in here, right? As you train, do you
Yeah.
take
So
in calories?
I'm sipping on those normally during training.
Any carbohydrates while you train?
Normally, yes. Yep. Yeah, I like to.
Yeah.
I always have liked it. I kind of like to have a carb with an amino mixed together.
drive it, yeah.
And then try to either get out and have a shake right away. Sometimes it's hard for me to eat a full meal.
Because you're just sick a little bit from training.
If you train really hard,
Yeah.
it's like I'll hit a shake. I like to do that sometimes, and then go into a meal where you're getting it in. You know, the shake and the meal are all happening within like an hour,
Yeah.
45
There's
minutes.
that window. They always talk about that
Yeah.
window, right?
Yeah, people have speculated about that. I've always just kind of been that way, and it's worked. So, kind of roll with it. Nice. Awesome. Nice, Jay. Good, good, good.
A little heavier weight here.
Perfect.
See what that feels like. Easy. So the main thing is the elbows are tipped back on this, so that's the key.
So try to force them back.
Yeah, like, just to get that peak contraction, right? You got it. Perfect. You're doing it good. It's just so isolation on the bicep.
Yeah, the interesting part with strongman is we actually typically don't do a ton of bicep training because they get stressed so much with other stuff because we're doing so many, rows and pull downs and picking up a stone.
The stone must be that's where everyone tears their biceps moving furniture.
Yes.
So I would imagine that is similar because when you're in this kind of a grip, right? Because how do you grab a stone?
Normally you're down here.
Okay.
And
but
that's
still,
That's the thing is, you want to try to lift it with a straighter arm because, the way to tear a bicep is to put it under load when you're bent and then it opens.
Yeah.
So that muscle pull up. But a lot of guys, unfortunately, do tear biceps lifting stones.
Is that how you tore yours? Or?
An axle. So it was a bigger, thicker axle. And in order to lift that up, because it's heavy enough, it was like 460. I think like 462, something like that. But in order to get it up to my chest, I had to lift it with a mixed grip. So it was this coming off the ground. That left arm coming off the ground is where I tore it.
And it torqued it.
Yeah. So, but that was,
And what did it feel like when it happened?
It was the same thing like you just said.
Not a lot of pain?
It felt like you probably know what
Electric
a hot shot is.
Yeah.
Right, so that's what I was told. It was like a hot shot, and just like 3 times, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And so I did that at the Arnold in 2012. I did it the very first rep, very first event.
Did you still compete?
I finished the contest. Yep.
Yeah.
Most guys pull out. I went back and I was wearing an elbow sleeve, and we had a circus dumbbell to do next. After I did that, and I told the guy that was with me, that was helping me, I was like, just pull out another elbow sleeve and put it on, and we'll go do the next event, and then we'll figure out what happened. And then you have to go to sleep. So I went and saw an orthopedic guy that night. He told me he was off, and first thing I said to him was, all right, so it's torn, can I compete or not, right?
Yeah.
And he looked at me like I was nuts, because it's just like, okay, who asked that question? But I said, bro, I just trained too hard. Like, I'm here to compete. And he's like, well, his answer was, you already detached it. You can't detach it again. So it's up to you. Like, if you can do it,
Yeah.
So I finished. It was excruciating, but I did it. So, it is what it is. But, when you get in that zone, it's like,
of course,
just like you're saying.
I competed with a torn bicep in
Yeah.
2011. I got second.
Yeah.
Lost the title. It was black and blue, and
Yeah.
it was painful after.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was practicing posing, but I wasn't getting up there and practicing like actually competition.
Where you're holding, yeah.
So when I got done with the contest, it hurt so bad.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Like
yeah.
that evening, I'm like, damn. And then I went and competed the next week in India with the same issue.
Oh, man.
So I was just,
That's rough.
I was 4 weeks into a torn bicep, and I tore the bicep in August, and I had the surgery in February.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's
because I had guest appearances. I didn't want to have the surgery.
You said I'm going to go through all this.
I had to go through all my committed events, and then I said, okay, it's February, we have a break, I'm going to have the surgery.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I had the surgery in February of 2012.
See, but that's a whole different mindset in a way too, because you got something you're working through like that, and it's just even though you're not lifting, flexing like that, it's excruciating.
Yeah.
It just hurts.
Especially when you're dehydrated and everything. That's when it really started to hurt.
Yeah, it's got to be horrible. Yeah. At least, I did the whole contest, and then I had went in, like, basically after that, I was like, all right, I got to get it fixed, because I had to then get ready for Worlds, or that was the goal, 6 months later to be ready for that, and so I got ready for that. But it was, it's a different mindset when you tear something like that to still go.
Yeah, I had some fear after, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, every time I got under something, I'm like, kicking the dumbbells like I did to actually tear it.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, am I going to do this again? I mean, still to this day, I still kick dumbbells,
Think
80s
about
or
it a little
whatever.
bit.
And you know, it's still kind of in the back of my mind, but you can't train with that fear, right?
No, that's the worst thing
You
do.
can't fear the weight. That's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Damn. See, I think we got something, man. I think we got something.
Okay. So even if you're just saying that,
No,
like I'm
man.
gonna.
He's very, very stingy on compliments.
Is he?
Yes.
Is he? Okay. I'll take it then.
So I think that's pretty much my arm training, man.
Right there.
I think we got it.
It's interesting. I love the mentality with the warming up into the training, and then you kind of do like the bigger, heavier thing after you've already got a good amount of blood in the muscle.
Yeah. So
the
for
joint
example,
training.
like if we did shoulders,
Yeah.
I would do side laterals first.
That's interesting. 'Cause
Instead of going right into a shoulder press, because listen, the shoulder is the most critical joint of the body. You lose your shoulder, you're restricted to do everything, right?
Yeah.
Biceps, back, you know, everything.
Big time. Yeah.
So I like to pre-exhaust a little bit with side laterals, get the blood in there, and then I start doing my heavy presses. That's how I've always trained that way.
See, that's interesting. I feel like, by and large, I feel like it's put out there to do the bigger multi-joint movements
You know
first,
why?
and then
Because
finish.
people want to be stronger. People
So you're
wanna do-
pre-exhausted going into
Yeah,
the,
so I didn't give a shit about the weight.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
weight did never matter to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I think a lot of people go in the gym and like, I got to get on the bench press first.
So you're
like, why
moving
don't you
most.
get on like a cable crossover or get a pec deck and warm the pecs up, stretch it out,
interesting. That's
instead of going right in there. Like I always do like a hammer machine to warm up. I never go into free weights. I mean, we train
yeah.
like it's
interesting.
always like a machine to warm up, and then I'll start pushing the free weights.
See, that's interesting. But the longevity.
I mean,
Right.
listen, I'm still doing it, man.
Yeah.
And,
And that's, I mean, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, from, you know, I mean, what age did you start lifting?
18 I started.
18. So it's like 18 till now, you haven't stopped at all.
Never stopped, and to be honest, if I could not train, I'd go out of my mind.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, it's a part of my day every day. It's like my whole day. I'm a working guy now, but
Yeah.
my whole day is we're still revolving around when am I going to go to the gym and
Totally.
release that stress and that energy. You know, if I have a bad day, nothing like a gym session that makes it right.
100%. Yeah, it's all. I always said to myself when I was having a bad day, and this is, you know, when I was grinding earlier in my career, I was like, you know, I can have a bad day, but I can walk in the gym and the bar still weighs 45 pounds.
Yeah.
And the weights are still 45, and they don't care if I had a good day, bad day,
Yep.
whatever. I could just go in there, and I leave all of that at the door, and walk in and put the work in, and you feel better.
Yeah.
You know, so I love it, man. Well, I appreciate you running me through that. It was awesome. This is something I have literally always wanted to do, is train with Jay Cutler. Now it's checked off the list. And now we might have to do more of it, because I feel like I've got a lot to learn, you know, putting
but
in that
I-
muscle tension, getting the pump and all that.
I'd like to see your element at some point too.
Yeah, we should do that. Come out to Colorado, we can tour around the gym and have some fun.
I might have to start training a little harder now, man. I'm like a little more motivated, right? You can see that competitive nature coming out in me, man.
That's
so,
awesome. Well, you guys make sure to check Jay Cutler out, jaycutler.com.
Yeah.
So-
Jay Cutler TV and
Yeah, he's got your YouTube
Yeah,
channel, the
Cutlercast
Cutler
and-
Cast podcast are getting rolling, which I was on. If you haven't checked out that episode, make sure to do so. Give my man some love. Hope you all are doing amazing for now. Go out and be great. We'll check you guys later.